Good morning. My name is Mary Mason. I'd like to welcome you to the East Shore Unitarian Universalist Church, those of you who are here in person and on Facebook that are joining us. I am a member of your Board of Trustees, and I would like to extend a special welcome to any newcomers who are with us this morning, and I encourage you to spend some time getting to know us. If you'd like to be on our mailing list, we invite you to sign up at the greeters table. You will find additional information at the pamphlet rack in the narthex. Our greeters will be happy to answer any questions. Please join us for coffee and polite conversation in the back of the sanctuary following the service. I welcome you to a church of reverence, where we stand in awe of the enormous potential of human nature and the wonder of nature all around us. I welcome you to a church of love, where we genuinely care for one another and seek to make this world a better place for all living things. I welcome you to a church of discovery, where we seek our individual spiritual paths and the path to truth, and where we support others in their searches. And I welcome you to a church of connectedness, where we strive to nurture meaningful connections to each other, to the world around us, and to the universe beyond. You are welcome to a church that values reverence, love, discovery, and connectedness. Your presence here inspires love, connectedness, discovery, and reverence as we worship together. Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Today we both welcome you to worship and light our chalice with these words from Lawrence E. McGinty. If you would. To this house we come bringing our boldest dreams, seeking here the inspiration and strength to make them be. To this house we come hoping to bury broken dreams, to be sustained through their pain and to discover new ones amidst their tears. We come here lonely, isolated from meaningful human contact, searching for warmth and closeness and care. Needing to grow beyond plateaus of the commonplace, we seek here challenges and commitments, productive of greater wholeness and deeper meanings. We come intense and constructive, hoping for encouragement to shed our pretenses and to be ourselves. Filled with despair and self-doubt, we seek affirmations, prodding us to say yes to ourselves and to life. Somehow, always putting happiness ahead of ourselves, we enter this place trusting that what happens here will enable us to make and to accept a little bit of it now, today. Strange place, this house. Here we cry, sing, laugh, hurt, dance, touch, survive, celebrate, grow, search, doubt, hope, rejoice, pray, trust, and care. Learn, think, wonder, be, become. Yes, this morning, to this house we come.
In the veil of the
story called Jericho by Christopher Boyce. Once upon a time, there was a little girl named Olympia who had a dream. She dreamed that one day she would grow up to be a minister. But during the 1800s, only men were ministers. So it didn't seem likely that Olympia's dream would come true. Olympia, however, continued to dream. Time passed, and the little girl became a young woman. Olympia wrote a letter to a school that taught people how to be ministers, and her letter said that she would like to study there. The school wrote back and told her it was not a good idea for her to come because she was a woman. Olympia was crushed. It was like someone had put a giant wall between her and her dream. But then she remembered a story from the Bible about a man named Joshua. Joshua was leading the Hebrew people out of the desert into the promised land. But when they arrived, they discovered they had a problem. Somebody else was living there. The Hebrew people were tired and wanted to rest. They had wandered with Moses in the desert for 40 years, trying to find a home. After Moses died, Joshua had led the Hebrew people to a beautiful land, but the people of that land did not want to share it with them. They had built a giant wall around the city of Jericho and were prepared to fight to keep Joshua's people out. Joshua marched up to the walled city and knocked on the door. "Open the door and let us in," he cried. But the people of the city replied, "Not by the hair on my chinny chin chin." Joshua walked away feeling very sad. The walls of Jericho were very, very high, and there seemed no way his people could enter the city to find a home there. Feeling stressed, Joshua went to find a quiet spot to meditate. As Joshua sat in his quiet spot, he got a crazy idea. In fact, the idea was so crazy, he was sure it came from God. Joshua ran to tell his people, and all the Hebrew people gathered to hear him speak. "Let us march around the walls of Jericho and blow our ram's horn." The Hebrew people were quiet for a moment. They were waiting for the rest of the idea, but Joshua remained silent. Finally, someone asked, "And then what?" "That's it," said Joshua. "That's the plan. Don't you love it? We will march around the walls of the city once a day for 7 days and blow our horns." Now, most people thought that Joshua had lost his marbles, but they went along with the idea. For 6 days, they marched around the walls of Jericho, blowing their horns, and in truth, they felt like idiots. But on the 7th day, something incredible happened. As the Hebrew people blew their horns, the walls of Jericho began to rumble and shake. Suddenly, the city walls came tumbling to the ground. Joshua's crazy idea had worked. The Hebrew people were free to walk right into the promised land. As Olympia remembered the story of Joshua, she began to get her own crazy idea. She decided that she would go to the school for ministers and take classes, no matter what anyone else said. And that is just what she did. The men didn't know what to do when Olympia showed up. They got very nervous and tried to talk her out of her dream. But Olympia wouldn't let anyone put a wall between her and her dream. Finally, the men decided they couldn't stop her. She studied hard and was every bit as smart, if not smarter, than the men in the school. In 1863, Olympia Brown was ordained a Universalist minister. She was one of the first women ministers in America. Olympia's dream came true because she knew that although there is a time to be quiet, sometimes you have to blow your own horn before the walls come tumbling down.
And now, the moment in each worship service where we both blow our horns and are quiet. The moment where we read out these things written here in this book. The things that bring us great joy and the ones that bring us great sorrow. Caleb Starr and the Byrds are grateful for all of the support and cheerleading through his surgery process, and want to thank everyone. And on a personal note, I would just like to share with everyone that I said my final goodbyes on Saturday morning to my constant companion of 8 years, my cat Dorian, after a very brief illness this week. Frankie and Tim Thompson and their son were in a serious car accident in eastern Pennsylvania Monday morning. Tim and Leo had very minor injuries, but Frankie spent several days in the trauma unit. She is home now and getting better. Cards are preferred to calls, and we would all like to thank all the support and love we've gotten from everyone this week, from Pat and Mary McGovern. Thank you for pointing out that there was more. So now I invite you to hold a stone in your hand, if you have one, or grab one if you do not, and imbue that stone with whatever joys or cares you bring with you this morning. We will have a moment of silence, followed by the sounding of the singing bowl. And when the singing bowl sounds, I invite you to join in placing the stones in the bowl at the center of our sanctuary beneath our beacon.
We offer these words by Teresa Isoda in prayer. In this community, we hold hope close. We don't always know what comes next, but that cannot dissuade us. We don't always know just what to do, but that will not mean that we are lost in the wilderness. We rely on the certainty beneath, the foundation of our values and ethics. We are the people who return to love like a North Star, and to the truth that we are greater together than we are alone. Our hope does not live in some glimmer of an indistinct future. Rather, we know the way to the world of which we dream. And by covenant and the movement forward of one right action and the next, we know that one day we will arrive at home. Blessed be.
I wanted to share a poem with you this morning. You may recognize the first few lines of it from the movie Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, but it's got quite a few more lines after it that you may not have heard before. So this is Ode by Arthur O'Shaughnessy. We are the music makers, and we are the dreamers of dreams, wandering by lone sea breakers and sitting by desolate streams, world losers and world forsakers on whom the pale moon gleams, yet we are the movers and shakers of the world forever, it seems. With wonderful deathless ditties, we build up the world's great cities, and out of a fabulous story we fashion an empire's glory. One man with a dream at pleasure shall go forth and conquer a crown, and three with a new song's measure can trample a kingdom down. We in the ages lying in the buried past of the earth built Nineveh with our sighing, and Babel itself in our mirth, and o'erthrew them with prophesying to the old of the new world's worth, for each age is a dream that is dying, or one that is coming to birth. A breath of our inspiration is the life of each generation, a wondrous thing of our dreaming, unearthly, impossible seeming. The soldier, the king, and the peasant are working together in one, till our dream shall become their present, and their work in the world be done. They have no vision amazing of the goodly house they are raising. They have no divine foreshowing of the land to which they are going. But on one man's soul it hath broken a light that doth not depart, and his look, or a word he hath spoken, brought flame in another man's heart. And therefore today is thrilling, with a past day's late fulfilling, and the multitudes are enlisted in the faith that their fathers resisted, and scorning the dreams of tomorrow are bringing to pass as they may, in the world for its joy or its sorrow, the dream that was scorned yesterday. But we, with our dreaming and singing, ceaseless and sorrowless we, the glory about us clinging, of the glorious futures we see. Our souls with high music ringing, O men, it must ever be, that we dwell in our dreaming and singing a little apart from ye. For we are afar with the dawning, and the suns that are not yet high, and out of the infinite morning intrepid you hear us cry. How, spite of your human scorning, once more God's future draws nigh, and already goes forth the warning that ye of the past must die. Great hail, we cry to the comers, from the dazzling unknown shore. Bring us hither your sun and your summers, and renew our world as of yore. You shall teach us your song's new numbers, and things we dreamed not before. Yea, in spite of a dreamer who slumbers, and a singer who sings no more. And yet, I shall sing more. When you were little, you dreamed you were big. You must have been something, a real tiny kid. You wished you were me, I wish I was you. Don't you wake up, this dream will come true. Every dream has a name, and names tell your story. This song is your dream, you're the dream operator. life. You know it's all me. My face is a book, but it's not what it seems. 3 angels above, the whole human race dream us to life. They dream me a face, and every dream tells it all. And this is your story. You dreamed me a heart. You're the dream operator. Shake it up, dream. Heidi-ho, dream. Fix it up, dream. Look at me, dream. I've been waiting so long now. I am your dream. Hard to forget, hard to go on. When you fall asleep, you're out on your own. Let go of your life, grab onto my hand. Here in the clouds where we'll all understand. And you dreamed it all. And this is your story. Do you know who you are? You're the dream operator. And you dreamed it all. And this is your story. Do you know who you are? You're the dream operator. I wonder if you had a dream last night, or whenever you most recently slept. I wonder about your dream. Was it a grand adventure? Did you travel the high seas as a pirate, singing yo-ho as you limped about the deck on your peg leg, always in pursuit of glorious treasure? Or perhaps you were an animal. Were you a cat, doing the most important work of all? Laying about in the sun and feeling the weight of the world slip from your tiny shoulders. Maybe the narrative of your dreams is a bit less straightforward. And so you set forth from the typewriter convention held annually in the swamps of Avalier to fully desagulate the overwhelming number of stuffed bears playing massive trumpets at the edge of the world with your faithful steed, celebrity chef Gordon Ramsay. Or was there no narrative at all? Just shapes and colors, sounds and their sources, patterns and textures. That one where you're falling and your whole body reacts. Of course your whole body reacts to your dreams. Not just the ones where you're falling, but all of them. Your body remembers these things you did, even if you haven't done them in real life yet. Dreams have always been interesting to us. We study them for meaning. Are they prophecy? Desire? And so dream left the realm of sleep alone and came to mean any disconnected state of being, like daydreaming, before settling into the idea that what we want to happen in the future is our dream, especially the ones we want with our whole body. You know the ones we're willing to make sacrifices for, like Olympia Brown, one of the first women in America to be ordained as a minister. We like to claim her as our own dream, that we, UUs, are on the forefront of inclusion because our ancestors allowed women to become ministers. after she wouldn't take no for an answer several times, and with much resistance. And we should be proud of that. It's not shameful. But 1863 was a pretty long time ago. So maybe it's time for us to do better more recently. And we did, of course. UUs were also among the first to ordain members of the LGBTQ plus community as ministers in the 1970s, after much resistance and firings when ministers would come out as gay. And not every congregation is openly affirming, and there remain issues to this day. But still, we should be proud. Although 1979 is also still a pretty long time ago. So maybe we could do better even more recently. And we did. The UUA's Office of Gay Affairs, as it was termed in the 70s, evolved over time to include more and more of the LGBTQ plus spectrum. And congregations, like ours, chose to be affirming, to side with love over the years in many ways. After several someones spoke up for themselves. Didn't take no for an answer many times. And worked their dreams into reality. The examples go on, and we are likely to find quite often that dreaming is an uphill battle. I think that's why the same word is used for these visions and experiences from sleep and the things we want to see happen in our future. Neither is fully rooted in reality. And if we want them to be real, we have to change reality. And when you try to change something so fundamental to everyone's experience, you're bound to face resistance. I was fortunate to be in attendance at a panel discussion with Dr. Deborah Plummer, one of the foremost researchers on issues of diversity, equity, and inclusion. I had the opportunity to ask Dr. Plummer a question, and I started by giving the context that I do my work in Geauga County. And she gave a knowing nod at that. She knows that doing work is different in Geauga County than it is to do that same work in Cuyahoga County, or Lake County, or Ashtabula County, or any other county in the state of Ohio. There is, in each county, a special flavor of resistance to changing reality. And so I asked Dr. Plummer, when faced with this resistance, how do you maintain stamina and keep pushing? How do you encourage those around you who might be affected by that resistance to maintain stamina and keep pushing? Now, Dr. Plummer said a lot of wonderful things that day about taking care of yourself, but the one thing that stuck out to me above all else was when she said, you have to spend time around other dreamers. And that just made so much sense to me in that moment. I looked around the Zoom I was in, and I saw them. The other dreamers. They were not there that day to help me achieve my specific dreams. They were there, like me, focused on their own dreams. But we saw each other. We are the ones who are doing this. We are changing reality. We are the music makers and the dreamers of dreams. And we're not alone. Now, there's another set of other dreamers in my life, a group of people who are proud of their history of changing reality. Proud to have hired a woman as a minister, a gay man as a minister, to welcome everyone, we hope, into our community. A group of people who have seen a lot of change over the course of their lifetimes to the fabric of reality. A group of people who, however tired they may be from all the changes, strive to be the other dreamers in the room. A group of people who seek to make resistance happen in the face of oppression, not change. Over the past few months, we have received a number of unkind reminders that there are parts of reality that still need changing. That the resistance to our dreams is still very strong, and at times it drags us back further away from our dreams. that we continue to make a weapon we have seen legally obtained and then abused to massacre our neighbors more legally accessible with less required training. That access to a medically necessary treatment might be threatened by a powerful minority of individuals, such as gender-affirming care, which is especially important for some of our younger dreamers. And yes, now we face the uncertain landscape of access to abortion in much of the country. And we all have different levels of involvement with these very different concepts. Some of us might have guns, like guns, respect guns. Some of us don't. Some of us have experienced the death of a friend or family member due to gun violence. Some of us have not. Some of us will need access to gender-affirming care, and some of us do not. We all know someone who does, but what that means to us is different for any number of reasons. Some of us have or could need an abortion at some point in our lifetime. Some of us never personally will. Some of us have been very close to someone who has or could need an abortion, and what that means to us is different for any number of reasons. We all have our own dreams related to these things, and many other concepts integral to the lives of so many people. Each of them, in their own way, are make or break in life and death decisions. So what do we do? In the face of this resistance, what do we do to maintain stamina and keep pushing? When we face resistance from our neighbors, when the people we love and trust the most don't even fully understand what we are experiencing, we do what Olympia Brown did, what Joshua did at the walls of Jericho. We move confidently in the direction of a changed reality. We look to the people around us who might not share the same dream, might not believe in or fully understand our dream, might look at the dream and think quietly to themselves, this is never going to work, but who do side with us, march with us, blow the horn with us, and watch the walls come tumbling down with us. Not to the promised land. Our dreams are never promised to us, but to a changed reality. Our most recent attempt to do just a little bit better.
One of the things we dream of every day, I'm sure, is a just world with equity and compassion. For the month of June, we share our loose offering with an organization called UU Justice Ohio. UUJO unites Ohio UU social justice activists statewide and beyond, helping to organize, provide speakers and training, and stand witness on behalf of marginalized groups and individuals. They promote education, service, and advocacy. They help to support the Poor People's Campaign in Ohio and are working to address issues of voter suppression, immigration and sanctuary support, dismantling mass incarceration, LGBTQIA justice, and more. Please, dream big and give as generously as you can. If you are visiting us for the first time, please be our guest and let the collection basket pass you by.
As a member of the Board of Trustees, I would like to thank you for your attendance today and for all the gifts that you brought here with you. The gift of your presence, the gift of the care you give to each other, and the gift of the financial resources that you share with all of us. Please know that these financial resources are used with diligence and care by your Finance Committee and your board to help sustain this caring community.
First floor only. Golden fragrance, magical rhythm, sweet changing music, will change us with them. Life without life, with your light gently glowing. Surely you seem to be God's vision growing. Oh, starry heavens, worlds of all splendor, suns without number, new life engender. Real, unreal, with a light brightly glowing, Lord, in your mercy, God's vision growing. And full of petals, by mountain passes, depths of the ocean, to all the grasses, great things and small, with a light gently glowing, bird of the wordless song, God's vision growing. Delicate beings, lacings and sparrow, in field and forest, cover and yarrow, life breathing life, with a light brightly glowing, one of two souls to be, God's vision growing.
Our words of benediction this morning come from Susan Menker Seal. Much of ministry is a benediction, a speaking well of each other and the world, a speaking well of what we value: honesty, love, forgiveness, trust. A speaking well of our efforts, a speaking well of our dreams. This is how we celebrate life, through speaking well of it, living the benediction, and becoming as a word well spoken. I invite you now to rise as you are willing and able and join in reciting our bond of union. We join our hands
in Unitarian Universalist fellowship, pledging ourselves to an individual religious freedom which transcends all creeds, not to think alike, but to journey together.
the things that we do thriving in the things that we can see. So with that, we will enjoy our postlude, and thank you very much.
Goodbye, Internet Dreamers. It's always nice to see you.